What's up guys, it's DJ. So today I plan on giving you guys some quick scoping tips for Infinite Warfare. They've made the sniping in this game a lot harder since the beta, and I plan on helping you guys out. Whether you're new to quick scoping or you have some experience, this video will help you. So to understand exactly how to quick scope and to get better at it, we have to go back to the fundamentals. So let's go ahead and talk about exactly what a quick scope is. So there are 4 things you can do with a sniper in this game. You can quick scope, you can drag scope, you can hard scope, and you can no scope. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys here real quick is a quick scope. Basically what a quick scope is aiming down sight after centering your target and then shooting once your reticle appears. I went ahead and slowed that down for you so you can see what it's like. It happens really fast, hence the name quick scoping. So the next thing I'm going to show you is something called a drag scope. Now we do a drag scope when you're not fully centered. So if your target is slightly off center, what you do is you aim down sight, you see the reticle, and then you drag your reticle on target. I went ahead and again slowed it down for you guys so you could see what it's like, because it does happen really fast. So quick scoping and drag scoping tend to happen just with basic muscle memory. Now in this game it is harder to perform and it is harder to train your muscle memory to do this. You may find yourself having a tough time because of the changes they made to this game. And with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about some of the changes that they did make. So normal guns in the game get something called aim assist. Basically what aim assist does is it slows down your aim once you get close to a target to make you aim a little bit better and help you out. In this game, they took it away for snipers. You have no help whatsoever with snipers when it comes to centering. Now when you're ADSing with a sniper and you're fully ADS, you do get a slight amount of aim assist, but it has been toned down compared to in the past. So you do get a slight amount of aim assist, but it's not that helpful. Now what does this mean for snipers? It means it's a lot harder to snipe and it's a lot harder to adjust. You go from an environment where you get aim assist with normal guns to an environment where you don't. So the simple fix for this is going into custom games and practicing with bots, so that way you can build a muscle memory. So what I like to do is go into Genesis, put as many bots as I can on Genesis, and just go ahead and start quick scoping. Now you'll notice that centering is going to be difficult without the lack of aim assist, but what you're doing with this is building a muscle memory. Now I recommend staying in custom games until you start building this muscle memory, because once you go into public matches, it's going to get much more difficult. Now something else you could do besides custom games is also sniping with your friends. Sniping with your friends adds a more realistic element into the game where they're actually jumping around, and plus it just adds a little bit more fun, and it's kind of like a competitive edge against your friends to see who can get better at quick scoping first, and it'll motivate you a little more. I would say most of my skill in quick scoping actually came from sniping with my friends, doing 1v1s every single day with them. It really pushes you to get better, so that way you guys keep beating each other. Like one day you'll win, one day your friend will win, and you'll want to snipe more so that way you can beat him the next day. I have a lot of friends that are actually really good at quick scoping, and we always motivate each other to get better at the game, and we always 1v1 for that reason. So my advice would actually be to stick with custom games and snipe with your friends until you notice or feel comfortable with your sniping. Going into a public match, like I said, is very different. What tends to happen is you tend to hold yourself back. You go into a public match and you kind of get scared because it's kind of like the real deal now. They actually have real guns. They're actually going to start shooting at you. They're going to be jumping around, and you're put into this new environment, and you tend to panic and you tend to overthink your shots. And that's a bad thing. People go into a public match and they're very scared. You don't want to be scared. Quick scoping should be natural and you should be confident in your shot. Usually people will notice that they do much better in a custom game, or they do much better in 1v1s. They'll be like, hey, how come I can't quick scope like this in a public match? Part of the reason is you hold yourself back. You're more confident, way more confident in a private match than you are in a public match. So if you can bring that confidence over, you'll do much better. Take those shots that you wouldn't take in a public match, and you'll be surprised by how many you actually hit, and you'll start having more fun and perform way better. I can promise you that. So now that we talked about the psychology of quick scoping and the fundamentals of quick scoping, there are actually some tactics that you could use to your advantage to actually improve your game. And this is some stuff I noticed in the game, and I want to share it with you guys to hopefully help you out even more. So the first thing I actually want to talk to you guys about is actually variable zoom. You may or may not have noticed that the aim down sight sensitivity of snipers is actually really slow compared to, let's say, Black Ops 3. And that threw a lot of people off. They're used to dragging extremely fast. But since it's slow in this game, a lot of people, and I've seen some other quick scoping tips videos out there, are saying to bump up your sensitivity for when you're sniping. So change your sensitivity. Let's say you're red gunning, they say run a 4 and 4, and then when you're sniping, go to a 10 and 10. Don't do this. I really advise against it. And I'll talk about sensitivity in the next tip here in just a second, but let's go back to variable zoom real quick. The reason variable zoom is helpful is because what it actually does is the first option for variable zoom actually zooms you out. So what does this do? It gives you a broader range of motion for where you can actually drag scope. So you don't sacrifice any sensitivity, but you have a better ability to drag scope. So if you're having issues drag scoping, give variable zoom a try. You can also customize the reticle for variable zoom too to your liking. Okay, let's go back to the subject of sensitivity. Let's go back to that same exact scenario where the guy says run a 4 and 4 when you're rug gunning and run a 10 and 10 when you're sniping. Don't do this, and I'll tell you why. Remember back in the video when I said that aim assist is removed when you're hip firing with a sniper? Imagine going from a 4 and 4 sensitivity, which you've adjusted to, then bumping it up to a 10 and trying to get your target exactly center on your screen. You're going to have a real tough time, and you're going to really have to drag scope to compensate for this. And centering your target and being centered is way more important than actually drag scoping in this game. It's better to have your target centered, have to drag scope a little bit with a lower sensitivity, than to be off of center and have to drag and waste time dragging to get the kill. So my advice, actually stick to a lower sensitivity. Centering is much more important, and without aim assist, you're going to be able to move your aim very quickly without it. So stick to a lower sensitivity, stay consistent with what you're using. If you're using, let's say, a 5 and 5, which is what I'm using, for regular gunning, stay at 5 and 5 for quickscoping. Make sure you're consistent. Don't keep changing it, because it'll only throw you off. Alright guys, so that's really all I got for you in this video today. I didn't want the video to be too long, but make sure you guys stay tuned. I plan on releasing a whole bunch more as far as sniping content, because there are many tips I can give out, because I've been sniping for a while now. I'm not Pomage Sprat level yet, but I can definitely hold my own. I'm not too bad, and I want to help you guys out. I enjoy helping you guys out. I enjoy hearing the feedback, and that's what makes it worth it for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this helped you out, and until next time guys, have a good one.